Hey guys, Nick here, Dyson Sphere Program. We're going to talk about the sorter today. So what is the sorter? The sorter is what allows you to connect different entities together to move items between them. So let's say you want to take items off a conveyor belt. This is probably one of the first basic things you want to learn. We have a conveyor belt here. Put an item on the conveyor belt. Let's throw some chips on there. All right. Now, how do we grab these and put them into something? Like, let's say we want to put them into this storage container. Now, you can't just do that. So how do you do it? Well, if you go to logistics here, hit 3, F4, F5, and F6 give you different sorters. So slow sorter, medium fast sorter, and then the really fast sorter. In order to use the sorter, first you'll need to research basic logistics systems here, which is an early tech, which just needs 10 circuit boards and 10 gears. So really simple to get, and this will unlock the basic logistics that you'll need, which will be the storage, the sorter, and the conveyor belt. So we can simply attach this sorter to here, and then attach it to the building. And then it needs power, unfortunately. So let's get some power here. And now we have items being moved. Something to note though is that you can side load. I could have the belt running beside like this, and I could easily grab items off here like so. And I could even attach multiple sorters if I want to pick up things at a faster rate or take them out at a faster rate, right? I could do the same thing over here with a different belt, and I can unload onto here like so. So very useful. You have a bit of distance you can cover with these. Oh, a little too far. There we go. But the problem is that the trip distance makes this a lot slower. Let me just put one of these down. Yeah. So you see, now it's moving a lot slower than this arm because, see, there's that little arm that goes back and forth. So it's got to go back to be able to pick up something. So that's why we have these Mark IIs. It goes faster. And then these Mark IIIs, which go even faster. And the thing with these Mark IIIs too is that you can upgrade them to pick up more than one item. So these start moving a lot of items later down the road. So one of the things that you'll find yourself doing quite a bit is, let's grab this, is doing something like, let's say you have, so you want to get 3 items into your assembler. So let's say you have your assembler here, and you want to move items from different belts onto it. So if you want to move them in at a similar rate, you might want to do something like put the slowest one here, put a faster one here, the mid-speed one, and then put the fastest one on the outside. And that'll give you a pretty consistent rate at which these items get pulled into the assembler. And then what you could do, let's say you want to these, and then you also want to create the next set of engines, which requires, see, this one requires the old engine, the electric motor. So you can load from one building into another. So you don't have to put them onto a conveyor belt. You can just go directly from one building to another. And this works with the thermal power stations too. So you can chain these. So you could put, do I have anything to put into there that I can burn? So let me hook this up with the logistics. Bingo bango. And let's throw this in there. And you see, feed the first one, feeds the second one. Very useful. So you don't have to run conveyors all through them. Oh, another thing you should know when it comes to this sorter is that they allow you to filter what you're picking up. So let me show you. Let's say I'm going to put, what am I going to put on this? Let's put circuit boards And let's throw some of these in there too. Some processors. Okay? Oh, look how slow that's going. Let me show you how fast one of these guys goes in comparison. Oh, so much faster. Alright, cool. So we got... Or we can even... Oh, what did I do there? I did not want to do that. And then we can actually use these sorters here to control which belt we put them on. Because if we would just normally put it on like this, it would just grab both items. It'll just grab whatever item that it can grab first. And, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to what it's doing. So, what we can do instead, let's throw some in here. Put these back in here. Okay. Is use these sorters to filter. You see, before I click the button again to place the sorter, there's this filter section here right beside the output speed. You can see it shows you the output speed as you place it. So 1.5 trips a second, 0.75 trips a second, 0.5 trips a second. So this lets you kind of balance out your belts. You have the visual output right there to know. And then if you hit tab, it says right there, press tab, select. Now you can select which item you're going to pull out of the container or building. So this is very useful in like oil production, for example. If you have different byproducts coming out, you can filter which ones you're grabbing out of the building. So let's put this to these circuit boards. Let's place that, and then now let's put a blue one here. So this one, let's see, 6 trips a second, 3 trips a second, 2 trips a second. So for this one, we're going to filter it on the processor. Great. So you see we filtered out the output onto 2 different belts. Let's change this to something that needs a circuit board processor. See, it grabbed all those processors into there because it needed them. And if we had these other on this belt, it would grab them. Or instead of filtering on this side, right, you could put them all onto a single belt and filter from the belt. Like, let's say you have multiple things coming on a belt, like go like that. Set the filter. Fortunately, from the belt conveyor belt to here, you can't set the filter with tab, so you'll have to actually click on the sorter, and then you can set the filter here. So we could say, we're gonna grab these from here, and the other thing is these circuits. All right. Yeah. So let's grab some of these. Let's put some on here, and now let's pull these off. And you can see it grabbed the circuits and pulled them into here as they came by. So that's another way that you can filter what you're doing. You can just put a bunch of stuff onto a single belt and then use these filters coming off the conveyor belts to filter what you're pulling into here. Sometimes something you should note is that, let's say you were using just one sorter to pull items onto here. What'll happen is when this fills up to max. Okay, let me just fill this belt with circuits. Show you what I mean. Okay. So the problem right now is this arm has 5 circuits loaded on it already, ready to go. But this is filled up and can't accept anymore. So if we just had this one belt collecting items for this assembler, when one of the items ends up filling up here, this sorter is going to pick something up, and it's going to hold it on the arm. Now, if the item is not, like, let's say this fills up first and this is empty and I still need more of these microcrystalline components, this assembler is not going to be able to grab any more of these components, even if they come by on the same belt. So that's why you want to have 2 separate belts filtered. That way they only grab the item that you want, so that if they get stuck, you know, if the arm gets stuck here, filled up, it's going to be the product that you want. If this arm fills up, it's just going to have circuits and be able to put more circuits in. If this arm fills up, it's going to be, you know, these microcrystalline component, and I'll be able to pull in more. Otherwise, this one would just be stuck, and even if these microcrystalline components came by, it wouldn't be able to pull it in. So this is definitely the ideal way you want to hook things up if you're pulling stuff off a single belt onto, if you're pulling multiple items off a single belt into an assembler. That's the way I would do it. And one of the things I should show you is that, so one of the nice things to note about the sorters is that when you're connecting, let's say you're doing a big project like your oil, and you have to connect a bunch of these sorters, you know, these outputs, and you want to filter all of them. Now, you know, placing each one and pressing tab is pretty tedious. So what you can actually do is place your first one, and then you can shift, copy, hold shift, click on the sorter when it's highlighted, and then when you place a new one, the filter is automatically set. So I can just go boom, 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 and that's going to be, you know, filtered with the hydrogen every time. So that is a useful thing to note, and can really speed things up when placing, you know, a whole bunch of filtered outputs like this. So hopefully you found this video useful. It should cover the basics of how to connect buildings and conveyor belts together with the sorter, and that should get you going to making your glorious masterpiece in Dyson Sphere Program. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.